Freddie Peralta lives in Miami during the offseason, starting down there today. Mets could use a big start from their big offseason acquisition. And that's going to do it for Mets Pregame Live. For Jose Reyes, I'm Steve Gelbs. We'll be back for Mercedes-Benz Postgame Live when it's over. But for now, we get you out to Miami. Gary and Ron, Game 2 as the Mets look to get back in the win column.
When Northerners come to vacation in South Florida, the first thing they think of is going to the beach. But Miami has plenty of other things to offer, other attractions like Key Biscayne. You know, they used to have a coconut plantation there. It used to be the home of the Winter White House. The Vizcaya Museum, great example of Mediterranean revival architecture. And if you need good smoke, Little Havana's the place. Find yourself some sweet Cubans. At Lone Depot Park in Miami, the New York Mets play the Miami Marlins. And a pleasant good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Miami. Gary Cohen, Ron Darling with you today as the Mets played the middle game of their series against the Marlins. Mets lost 2-1 last night, but amidst the debris, 3 hitless innings from Jonah Tong in his season debut.
You know what's great about it, Gary? He was just so serious out there about his craft, and it resulted in 3 beautiful innings. He didn't give up any hits. Now, the high fastball is always going to play. He had a lot of swing and miss on that. But what I really appreciated was his secondary pitches, the changeup and that Vulcan grip that he uses that flutters to the plate. It was swung and missed at 3 different times. He also got a ground ball, which resulted in a double play, and he threw a breaking ball behind in the count to get back into the count, something he's really been working hard on in AAA.
And Tong will be sticking around. Perhaps he'll live long and prosper. Meanwhile, on the mound for the Mets today, it's Freddie Peralta getting an extra day rest after walking 6 in his last start against the Yankees.
You know, the Mets relief corps has really shouldered most of the burden on this road trip. They could use Freddie Peralta to have one of those big games and limit any contact by this Marlins offense. He has been good of late. He tired in his last start.
For a Marlins starting pitching staff that's often stumbled this spring, Max Meyer has been their standout.
Boy, he has been good. 10 starts, 4-0. 60% of the time tonight, you're going to see a sweeper or a slider, and it's a pitch he throws with as much velocity as anyone in the game.
Coming back from hip surgery, it worked for David Peterson. It seems to have worked so far for Max Meyer. Mets and Marlins in Miami. All the action coming up on SNY.
We're here for those who build America.
Pizza for the $279 per month lease or 2.99% APR on a 2026 CR-V all-wheel drive LX.
New York Mets baseball on SNY is brought to you by Genesis. Discover the award-winning lineup of Genesis SUVs and sedans at your local tri-state Genesis retailer. By Spectrum, it's internet, mobile, and streaming TV all from one place. Buy the New York Lottery, play today, and start imagining your win. And by Toyota. Toyota's Summer Starts Here event is on now. Toyota, let's go places. Score big on authentic gear at MLBshop.com. From official jerseys and memorabilia to hats and hoodies, visit MLBshop.com/Mets, the official source for your Mets gear. Your odds update presented by Bet365, where winning is everything. Around the majors presented by Jeep. Christopher Sanchez, 8 scoreless innings against the Guardians last night. Now trails only the great Grover Cleveland Alexander for the longest scoreless inning streak in Philadelphia Phillies history. They lost that game last night, by the way, 1-0 on a pinch hit home run in the ninth. First time the Guardians ever won on a pinch hit home run, 1-0. Yeah, really. Wow. Mets have been getting the best of Juan Soto recently. Unfortunately, they've also wasted a lot of his good games lately. On the starting lineup for the Mets, Soto back in left field after DHing yesterday. MJ Melendez gets the DH spot. AJ Ewing moves up to number 6 in the batting order. As the Mets, who were held to 3 hits last night, go up against Max Meyer.
Well, Max Meyer was the 3rd pick in the draft in the COVID year of 2020. Spencer Torkelson for the Tigers was 1. Heston Kjerstad for the Orioles was number 2. And Meyer number 3. The Marlins this year in his 10 starts are 7-3. And of course, he's got the perfect record. The Marlins defense presented by a Tri-State Chevy Dealers. We saw Joe Mack and his arm last night. That was very impressive. Graham Pauley is in there at 3rd base today. Otto Lopez, who started the game on the bench with a minor injury, is out there. He's leading baseball with that .340 average. And Stowers, Marcy, and Casey out in the outfield. Marcy made 2 beautiful catches on poor Carson Benj. So the rosin bag, when Max Meyer came out, sometimes when you pick up that bag, it just feels like a big piece of like concrete, and you got to break it up somehow. So you just slam it on the mound 2 or 3 times. It's kind of like breaking ice up when you buy it at the liquor store.
So that's what Turk Wendell was doing all those years, when he would slam the rosin bag down before he climbed the hill.
By the time he got out there, it was nice and soft and pliable. He was doing that maybe for show, Gary.
You think?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the guy who used to eat licorice and then brush his teeth on the bench between innings. So you never know. Wearing deer teeth around his neck.
You can get ice at the grocery store too. I don't know why I said liquor store, but okay.
Some groceries. Carson Bench leads off 0 for 3 last night. Robbed twice by Jacob Marcy, crashing into the center field fence. Going to pick another spot tonight. Drew a walk his last time up. The only walk the Mets drew in the game. Meyer's first pitch of the day is up on the inside corner for a strike. And we're underway. 86 degrees outside, 72 degrees inside. Roof closed for the 2nd straight day. Bench takes up and away, a ball and a strike.
Change up there from Meyer. He said that he has benefited the most from the pitches being called from the bench. All he cares about, call it and I'll execute it.
He's thrown his breaking balls more than half the time this year. And there's the slider in for a strike, 1-2. Between his slider and his sweeper, 53% of his pitches this year have been breaking balls. Benj, then Bichette and Soto for the Mets in the opening inning. And Benj tries to hold the swing, and he stopped it in time as Mack was able to scoop that ball out of the dirt. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
I said in the open that his breaking ball is as hard as anyone's in the game, and you can tell that really fooled Benj. He was strong enough, though, to hold that check swing.
Meyer first came up in 2022, made just 2 starts before he went down with Tommy John surgery. Didn't emerge again till 24. Late in the season, he made 11 starts in his return. And he got the inside corner to Benj, who does not challenge the call. And that's strike 3.
That was really a late call by the home plate umpire, Derek Thomas. I thought that pitch was up out of the strike zone. I know what Benj is thinking. It's the first batter of the game. You don't want to challenge. That's a pitch under the armpits.
So Meyer has a strikeout to start the day. And here's Bo Bichette, who came into this series hot but went 0 for 4 last night. And he takes up and in for ball 1. Anyway, Meyer came back, made 11 starts late in 2024. Then got off to a pretty good start last year, made 12 starts, and then he went down with a hip impingement and had surgery that knocked him out from June through the rest of the season. Fastball strike to Bichette. So he's trying this year to finally have a full year in the major leagues, which he has not yet done at age 27. 1-1 to Bichette with Soto on deck. And he shoots one foul, 1-2.
And the Mets are coming off another night. They only have 4 walks in the last 4 games. 13 times now out of the 51 games, we're playing number 52 tonight, they've scored 1 run or less. That's 25% of the games.
They've wasted a lot of good pitching in doing that. 6 times this year, the Met pitching staff has given up 2 runs or fewer, and the Mets have lost the game. I mean, that's a lot of times for that to happen in the first third of the season.
Hey, you win half of those. It's a different story.
2-2 coming, and Bichette lofts one out to left field. Should be easy for Stowers. And that's the second out.
I don't know how to rank this as a National League ballpark, but I always feel like home runs come here to die. You really have to crush it. A lot of times you got to pull it, or you got to be Juan Soto.
Well, Soto hit one into the second deck about 10 rows deep yesterday for his 10th of the year, his 4th on this road trip, and his 6th in the last 10 games.
Steady diet of fastballs, and he didn't miss that one. Almost hit it off the column, 2 rows from the column.
On a 99.8 miles an hour fastball, the hardest pitch to be hit for a home run in the majors this year. Mac, trying to avoid a pitch clock violation, will go out to the mound. You know, we talk all the time about Francisco Lindor and how he's the bellwether. He hits so well when the Mets win and not well when the Mets lose. Soto's kind of been the opposite. In the 17 losses he's played in this year, he's hitting .349 with a 1200 OPS.
I mean, that's like reverse splits, right?
Exactly.
That's crazy.
Too often he's been on an island in that Mets batting order.
Oh, the solo home run as well. Last night was one. You know,
and Meyer gets that sweeper in for a strike, 1-1.
Gary, I did a little inventory before the game. Is this pitch is going to be challenged by Juan?
So Benj did not challenge on a 3-2 pitch that could have changed the at bat. Soto does challenge and he wins it.
Nice.
So that makes the count 2-0.
The gravitas of greatness.
Well, nobody knows the strike zone better than Soto as a hitter. Although in a perfect world, I think teams would save the challenges for their catchers who have a much better success rate. 2-0 to Soto, and there's a strike. I mean, Freddie Freeman said it in spring training. He said, I'm not planning to challenge all year, and he still hasn't. He said, I'm going to leave those for my catchers. And Soto takes a big rip at a sinker and comes up empty, and it's 2-2.
We're just saying we get so myopic game to game here in a long season. I did an inventory of Soto's career. 949 OPS, 254 home runs, 718 RBI.
At his feet with a slider, and he held the swing. 3-2. Max Meyer, now 27 years old, first round pick out of the University of Minnesota. He's a Minnesota native, so one of those cold weather pitchers who did not pitch a lot of innings as a kid. And Soto draws the walk as it goes to the backstop, and the Mets have a 2-out base runner. Meyer played hockey throughout high school, and he's proud to say that in his senior year in high school, he led his high school team in penalty minutes.
What? a calm, mild-mannered pitcher?
He's got some hockey bloodlines. You know, his uncle is Joel Johnson, who coached the U.S. Women's Olympic hockey team in Beijing in '22. Foul tipped by Beatty, and it's 0-1.
So Meyer just tipped his hand. He's not going to pitch to Soto if he doesn't have to. Not going to challenge him like last night.
Brett Beatty 0 for 2 last night. Soto edging off first. And Beatty goes after a sweeper and swings right over it, and it's 0-2. Mets faced Meyer early last season at Citi Field, and he was brilliant in that start. 6 2/3 scoreless innings, only 2 hits allowed. And Soto dives back in. The throw hit the umpire, and so did not go down the line. The first base umpire, Jansen Visconti, got drilled by that throw, and that's what kept Soto from going to second base.
Well, Visconti is right in the line of a throw, but he's counting on the first baseman, Connor Norby, to like throw some leather on it, bro. I mean, this is a throw that he should handle. Because he's a little off the base, he never used his footwork to get back to the base, and Visconti paid.
Paulie, a relatively newcomer to first base. There goes Soto, and Beatty strikes out to end the inning. So Meyer fans a couple, and the Marlins come to bat with no score. Hyundai starting lineup for the Marlins. Last night, the top 5 in the Marlins batting order went 0 for 17, and they won the game. They only had 5 hits. Owen Casey had both RBIs last night. And the guy who did the most hitting for them last night, Esteury Ruiz, is not on the lineup.
Well, total numbers for Peralta, the Mets, after doing a piggyback game with Myers, Minaya, and Tong. You can see his numbers so far this year. The walks are up. The 2-to-1 ratio, strikeouts to walks, is not as good as Peralta would like.
Xavier Edwards leads off, and the switch hitter takes a fastball high. Edwards 0 for 4 last night, still hitting .309, 7th in the National League, 3rd in the league in hits, 7th in on-base percentage. He's hitting over 300 from both sides of the plate. Peralta falls behind him 2-0. Freddie tied his career high with 6 walks in 5 innings against the Yankees. He only gave up 2 hits in that outing and wound up with a no decision as the Mets rallied to win it in 10. Edwards flies one to shallow left, and Soto's right there waiting for it. 1 out.
Genesis Mets defense tonight. You got Torrens again behind the plate. The corners of Beatty and Vientos, they're every day now with the veterans up the middle. And Soto's playing some defense today with Ewing and bench.
So 1 out and nobody on. Now Liam Hicks, who played first base last night and went 0 for 4. He's DHing today. And he pops one up on the left side of the infield. Brett Beatty waits for it on the cutout. And quickly there are 2 out. Peralta on opening day gave up 2 first-inning runs against the Pirates. He has not given up a first-inning run in 9 starts since.
And 4 pitches for 2 outs right here.
Well, he's averaging over 17 pitches per inning this year, 3rd most in the National League. He needs quicker innings so he can get deeper into games. Here's Otto Lopez, Major League's leading hitter at .340. Lopez didn't start last night, got 1 at bat late after coming in for defense. This is a guy that got on waivers from the Giants early in the 2024 season. And he flies one out to center field. Ewing right there waiting for it. So 3 balls in the air, and Peralta has himself a 6-pitch inning to start the day. No score after 1.
He's clean, boss.
World Champions t-shirt. Also on May 29th, get your Bobby Valentine disguise.
Second inning, no score. Mark Vientos leads off against Max Meyer. Vientos 0 for 3 last night, 0 for his last 10, and takes fastball outside for ball 1. Vientos, Ewing, and Semien for the Mets in the second against Meyer, who walked 1 and struck out 2 in the first. A lot of Met fans in the house today, as is always the case when we come to South Florida. 2-0 to Vientos. Mark, of course, while born in Connecticut, grew up here in South Florida. Another South Florida native, Christian Scott, will pitch tomorrow for the Mets. And Vientos scoots one through that right side hole. Didn't have much oomph on it, but it found the right spot. And he's got a leadoff hit on the second.
Well, Meyer threw him one of those breaking pitches 2-0 that doesn't really break, so it kind of jammed him. And he hits that ground ball that, with the way defenses are today, it's a hit 100% of the time. Inside out swing by Vientos. He'll take it. He needed a knock.
Snaps the 0 for 10, and now A.J. Ewing, who had one of the Mets' 3 hits last night. Ewing making his 11th start. Takes a changeup outside. The Mets now have 6 rookies on their team. Only 2 teams have more on their active roster. The Giants have 8. The Pirates have 7. Mets brought in a new rookie today to replace a different rookie on their pitching staff. Jonathan Pintaro, who pitched in 1 game for the Mets last year, is up, and Zach Thornton was sent back down. So Pintaro is here and ready in the bullpen. The pitching from day to day with this team is a fascinating affair right now. When Peralta and Christian Scott and Nolan McLean start, and they'll be the next 3, Scott tomorrow, McLean on Monday, things are pretty simple. The other 2 days, they get more complex. Peterson's pitching better. Do we use an opener in front of him? Fluctuating 5th spot in the rotation. Thornton made a start. Now he's down. Minaya pitched well. Tong pitched well in long relief yesterday. How do you figure them for the next time around on Wednesday? It's all puzzle pieces.
You got long relievers. You got short relievers. You got long relievers who want to be starters.
Tap foul. Here's the thing, though. The Mets bullpen has been really, really good.
Really good. And the pitching has been solid as well.
I mean, the Mets overall are 4th in the National League in ERA. Their defense is in the top half of the league in defensive runs saved. There's one stark reason why they are languishing 7 games under 500, and that is the offense. Ewing takes strike 3 call. That's the 3rd strikeout for Meyer. So 1 out and 1 on. Before this road trip, the Mets had only played 1 divisional series before they went to Washington. First time in franchise history they only played 1 divisional opponent in their first 50 games. Of course, for years and years, once divisional play began in 1969, you played the first chunk of your season against your division, and you played the last chunk of your season. Basically, the season was divided into fifths. You played beginning, middle, and end against your division, and you played the other division the other 2 times. Double play ball to second. Edwards with the flip, and Lopez with the turn for the 4-6-3 double play as they double up Semien to end the inning. No score in Miami. Working on a win presented by Home Depot. We mentioned this earlier. 6 times this year the Mets have allowed 1 or 2 runs and lost the game. Only the Texas Rangers have had as many of those. Kyle Stowers leads off the home second and takes up and away from Peralta. Stowers 0 for 3 last night. Season off to a slow start after a monster year last year. At a .912 OPS last season, 25 home runs, even missing the last month and a half.
Was their all-star representative last year.
Wasn't it the case that he was the guy who was scratched in the home run shootout?
Yes.
And Schwarber hit instead?
Yes.
And that's how
just,
Schwarber won the All-Star game?
They're just like, well, you know, you've had a good run, but we need Schwarber to hit. He's vulnerable upstairs with the fastball. And that's why they've been pounding him so far this year.
Peralta throws his changeup, and it's fouled outside third. Beatty gives it a look, but it's out of play. This is a team that you figure Peralta is going to throw almost exclusively fastballs to. When you look at the numbers, Freddie's fastball has the 3rd lowest OPS against in the majors, 523. His breaking balls have the 7th highest, 863. And on the other side for Miami, the numbers are just as stark. The Marlins are number 30 in the major leagues OPS against fastballs, dead last.
Wow.
And they're 1st in the majors against breaking balls. And of course, he gets him looking at a changeup. So there's Peralta's first strikeout.
3-2 changeup, though. Stowers had to be sitting on the fastball. Good pitch by Peralta. You know, Gary, I find those numbers interesting because when you have a young team, usually fastball is their forte. but not here in Miami.
Here's Jacob Marcy, who contributed with his defense last night, went 0 for 3 at the plate. And after a wonderful start to his big league career last year, Marcy's off to a very slow start at the plate. And Peralta falls behind him 2-0. Marcy, just 24 years old, came out of Central Michigan. He was not considered a big prospect, but when they called him up last night for the first month, all he did was hit.
Yes, he did, and terrorized the Mets. Very narrow stance. You just don't see stances like this anymore. Bryce Terang for the Brewers has a very similar narrow stance as well.
And Peralta walks him on 4 pitches, and the Marlins have their first base runner of the day.
Well, he did this last year, and this is in the first inning. Leading off the game, Benj robbed of a base hit, and then this one off Benj as well. Scaling the wall, and then kind of velcroed to it for a while before he came in.
Looks a little worse for wear there.
He does.
Connor Norby hits one toward the hole. That's going to scoot through for a base hit. Marcy's trying to go first to third. Soto's throw to third base gets away. Down to second base goes Norby. Well, that's a mistake by Juan Soto. He had no chance to get Marcy at third base, and he allowed Norby to go to second on the throw.
Well, you said it right, Juan. This ball was not hit hard, but still found a hole. And you have to ensure and keep the double play in order. Always. Now, Marcy has good speed. You know, he's their center fielder. He's got good speed, and he's pushing it here. There's a lot of left fielders who might have been out at third, but the prudent play is to go to second.
Now, when Casey swings and misses at a first pitch curveball. Infield comes in for the Mets. Casey drove in both runs last night for Miami, and he has an RBI opportunity early in this game. And the curveball misses down 1-1.
There's no algorithms to tell the Mets to play in here. They're playing in because they're not scoring runs.
It's pretty simple, isn't it?
Right.
Casey, who came over from the Cubs in a trade for Edward Cabrera, takes a changeup down, and it's 2-1.
Bichette just couldn't get there with the backhand. He wouldn't have had a play anyway, but if he knocked it down, he would have stopped the third running.
Casey pulls one past Vientos down the line, and that'll bring in 2 runs. Marcy and Norby score. Casey has driven in all 4 runs from Miami in this series, and they've got a 2-0 lead in the second.
Vientos, he was right on his toes, ready to go. That ball just hit too hard by him. No fault there, just good hitting by Casey. Got another fastball and put it in play.
Before that hit, opposing hitters this year were 3 for 43 against Freddie Peralta with runners in scoring position. And that's not an aberration either, because over the last 6 seasons, going back to the beginning of 2021, opposing hitters were hitting 197 against Peralta with runners in scoring position, and that was the best in baseball. Rampoli at the plate, and he takes the curveball down. Stop the swing, 1-1.
Paulie just came back from the minor leagues a couple days ago. He got off to an awful start here to start the season. Sent down.
Pop-up foul out of play. 1-2. Paulie was a big prospect with the Padres. Came over in the deal that sent Tanner Scott and Brian Hoeing to San Diego 2 years ago. Showed off a good glove at third base when we saw him last year, but as Ronnie said, he hasn't hit it all so far this year.
Now, it's hard to replace what just happened with what would have happened, but if Soto did throw the ball to second, Vientos would have been in a better position to field that ball. He'd have been closer to the base, and he would have turned too, because we've seen him do it before. But you know, that's why you throw to second.
And the curveball fouled off the mask of Torrens. So in this second inning, Peralta's been throwing a lot of secondary pitches, which is a little puzzling considering what the metrics show.
I feel like when he gets in, you know, he's known as Fastball Freddy. When he gets in runners in scoring position.
And he goes to the changeup to strike out Paulie for the second out.
He tends to lean on his breaking pitches, especially his changeup. He almost goes against type in runners in scoring position.
So 2 out. Casey still at second, and now Joe Mack, the rookie catcher, 1 for 3 last night. And he pops one up behind third. Beatty drifting into foul ground. And he's got it to retire the side. But Owen Casey's 2-run double puts the Marlins up 2-0 after 2.
Every night starting at 11, only on SNY.
Mets down a deuce as they come to bat in the third. MJ Melendez will lead off against Max Meyer. Melendez DHing today. These have been rough weeks for MJ. Flies one out to center field, and Marcy jogging in. 1 pitch and 1 retired. Melendez now just 1 for his last 27. Last night the Mets started Nick Morabito against a right-hander. Morabito struck out all 3 at bats, and Melendez getting the call today. Now Luis Torrens. Luis was 0 for 2 last night, 2 for 14 on this road trip. The Astros beat the Cubs again today, 3-0. Yesterday was Spencer Arrighetti. Today, Kai Wei Teng with 6 scoreless innings for the Astros, and Christian Walker, who'd been really struggling, hit 2 home runs. So the Cubs, after winning 10 in a row twice, have now lost 7 in a row and 11 of 13.
That's right.
2-0 to Torrens with Christian Benj waiting on deck. Meyer gets that slider in for a strike, 2-1.
It's interesting. Their manager said, it's in our head. We are playing tight. We need a day off. How many times have you heard a manager say that?
Well, Craig Counsell is different from most managers.
Yeah. He's nonsensical in that way. He just says it. He'll always be remembered down here.
As long as your players respond.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, scored the winning run in the World Series. 1997 against the then Cleveland Indians.
That's right.
And Jose Mesa. Edgar Renteria, the game-winning hit.
Renteria is the youngest person ever to put on a Marlins uniform.
Is that
19
true?
years old and 200 and odd days.
Younger than Miguel Cabrera?
I believe so.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because Cabrera was 19 when he came up.
I read it, so hopefully I'm right. But if I'm not, you know.
Yeah, it's a good one anyway. Up and in ball 4, and Torrens is on. So the second walk given up by Meyer, 1 out base runner.
Those are walks for a starting pitcher that drive you crazy. It's like a total concentration thing. You're out of your brain for a few minutes and allow the 9th hitter to walk. Not that Torrens can't do damage, but you want to see him do damage.
Carson Bench took a call, 3rd strike his first time. And he takes that one at the top of the zone for a strike. Well, he's had some borderline calls against him in his first 2 at bats. Derek Thomas is the home plate umpire. Supposedly has a small strike zone, but not when Benj has been batting so far. And that one just missed with a changeup. 1 ball, 1 strike.
One of the things I appreciate about Benj being a rookie, you ever notice that he never ever changes his expression when a pitch is called. When it's a pitch that's close, he doesn't. He just gets back in there and let's go get him.
Nothing seems to faze him. Even last night when Marcy made those 2 great catches against the fence, there was no change in expression from Carson.
There's no kicking dirt.
No slamming of the helmet. None of that. He's got the perfect demeanor for a baseball player. What's past is past. I'm concentrating on the next pitch. There's a strike and it's 2-2.
Not seeing the ball great off Meyer. You can tell by his reaction. He's just a little late in trying to pull the trigger.
Bo Bichette waiting on deck. And Bench goes down on the back foot slider. That's 4 strikeouts now for Meyer, 2 away. Second time he's gotten benched.
So we spent a lot of time talking about Nolan McLean's slider. This young man has a great one too. Maybe not equal to McLean, but it is hard and it's got something on it.
So 2 out and Torrens at first. Here's Bichette, who flied to left his first time, and he hits the breaking ball past the mound right to the bag where Edwards gets the force to end the inning. Middle of the 3rd in Miami. Marlins 2, Mets nothing.
I hammer the rudder.
Freddie Peralta starts his second time around the Marlins batting order. Xavier Edwards leads off. Edwards flied out to left his first time up. Edwards was born on Long Island, born in Mineola, but grew up down in Florida. Drafted by the Padres in 2018.
Mineola. Where's that, Gary?
Nassau.
Nassau County?
Yep. It's just the start of Nassau, right after New Hyde Park on the Port Jefferson branch. Changeup fouled off, and it's 0-2.
New Hyde Park.
You know, New Hyde Park, Mineola.
Well, when it's running. You know.
Well, it's running now. they settled it.
They did? Oh, good.
They did. Liam Hicks on deck, and then Otto Lopez. And Edwards takes the curveball down 1-2. So we are confirming that Edgar Renteria was the youngest Marlin ever.
Good. That makes me feel a little better that my brain is still has some retention.
And Miguel Cabrera was 4th on that list. Yuri Perez was ahead of him in terms of youth as a Marlin. Hit past the mound, grabbed by Peralta as he reached up and makes the play on Edwards, 1 away.
And of course the great Jose Fernandez.
Oh yeah, he was also 20 when he debuted. So Peralta's retired the leadoff hitter in each of the first 3 innings. Now Liam Hicks, who popped up to third base his first time up. And a fastball in for a strike.
Gary, I just got a number from the truck. Jose Fernandez was 29-2 in this ballpark. He was phenomenal. 1.49 ERA.
Well, there's no question his death set the franchise back significantly. It's been 10 years, Ryan.
Wow.
It's hard to believe.
It's one of the saddest days I've ever been at a ballpark, I'll tell you that. Just barely got through the open. And then
D. Gordon?
D. Gordon.
First pitch, he stood in from the right side.
That's right. With the helmet turned around awkwardly.
And then he got back into the left side against Bartolo Colon.
And Bartolo grooved one.
And now Liam Hicks hits one deep to right. Bench to the wall, leaps, and it's out of here. Liam Hicks, just beyond the outstretched leap of Carson Bench, hits his 10th home run of the year. And it's 3-0 Marlins.
.43 RBIs now for Liam Hicks. either caught a changeup or a hanging breaking ball from Peralta. Watch Benj go back on this ball. Just a little early. Couldn't get back there in time. There's a little kind of crease triangle there.
Aldo Lopez slams one to the gap in right center, and that's going to go all the way back to the wall. Lopez pulls in at second base. Back-to-back extra base hits for the Marlins against Peralta. Lopez's 14th double of the year. Top 5 in the league.
Well, after a pitcher hangs a breaking ball, you know you're going to get a fastball first pitch. When you come up there, good smart hitting by Lopez. Still got to do something with it, and that was a bullet that split the gap. Big leg kick, gets the foot down in time, and boy, that's a beautiful flat swing that can handle that high fastball in the strike zone.
That's the reason why it's hitting 340. I mean, nobody really saw this coming. You knew there was more in there with Lopez. But for goodness sake, he hit 246 last year.
So 240 to 340.
Marlins now have 4 hits. 3 of the 4 have been for extra bases. Kyle Stowers was caught looking on a changeup his first time up, and he pulls that one just foul.
Go back to the home run from Liam Hicks on the breaking ball from Peralta. You can see the contact, head down, really steps in a closed position and fires those hips. And see how that little triangle crevice, if he could have got back another 3 feet with his back against the wall, he had a better chance.
Liam Hicks is a rookie last year, played in 119 games and hit 6 home runs. He's already got 10 this year in less than a third of the season. They had some breakout stars on this Marlins offense with Hicks and Lopez. Stowers swings and misses at a breaking ball, and it's 1-2. Stowers came over from Baltimore with Connor Norby in the deal for Trevor Rogers. Rogers had a great year for the Orioles last year. Stowers had a great year for the Marlins. Now Stowers trying to get up to speed after missing the first few weeks with a hamstring injury. Change up low and away. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Rogers has gotten off to a little slower start in Baltimore, so has Stowers here.
Well, so has everybody in Baltimore, it seems. Although they won last night, they beat the Tigers. Swing and a miss at a high fastball, and so Peralta strikes out Stowers for a second time, his 3rd of the day. Be one of the first 15,000 fans at the game on Tuesday, May 26th. They get the 1986 World Champions Retro T-shirt. For tickets, go to Mets.com/tickets. And Joel Sherman wrote a column in the Post today about the fading Tigers, who've now lost 15 of 17, and what that means at the trading deadline for Tarek Skubal, who was already throwing 2 bullpen sessions coming back from surgery on his elbow for loose bodies using the new nanoscope. And the trading deadline is more than 2 months away. But if the Tigers don't get it turned around, you have to figure at some point the conversation about trading Skubal is going to grow.
But you're taking a pitcher that's had an operation in season, even though he's coming back quickly, who you might not have. I mean, he's going to free agency, so.
Well, it might well be a rental.
Yeah.
But there's still a price for the rental. Jacob Marcy takes fastball just away. 2 balls and a strike. I mean, he's going to have to come back and prove that he's healthy, obviously, before anybody's going to deal for him. Lopez at second. Bichette trying to keep him close. And Marcy lifts one to center. Ewing got a late start back, but he'll get there. And he makes the catch to retire the side. Hicks with a home run to extend the Marlins lead to 3-0 after.
The sauce with more main character energy than Kevin Hart.
4th inning, Mets down 3-0. Juan Soto leads off against Max Meyer and takes a fastball for a strike. Soto drew a walk his first time up. One of 2 walks issued by Meyer, who struck out 4 over the first 3 innings. He's allowed just 1 hit. And keeping the ball away from Soto. A ball and a strike. Meyer coming off 6 scoreless innings against the Braves on Monday in his last start. Bounce to the right side. Edwards is there. Soto retired, one away. Myers got actually put up better numbers this year against lefties than he has against righties.
Well, I think he's gone more with the breaking ball, changeup, 2-seamer he's added as well. But it's the breaking ball usage against lefties that has really had an uptick.
Struck out Brett Beatty on a back foot slider his first time up. Tries it again and misses. Ball 1. Beatty takes a strike. How rare is it these days to see the home team wearing a white uniform and the road team wearing a gray uniform?
It's so great for an old timer like me. I like when I know the uniform of the team. I don't always know that. I'll see games on the road replays. I'll go, who is playing? But I get it. Fans like the extra kind of jerseys, and they can own all the different jerseys of the team. But I don't know, something great about wearing your home white or grays on the road.
3-1 to Beatty. And he takes that slider for a strike. So Meyer not afraid to throw his breaking stuff in any count. I mean, there was a time with a 3-0 lead, a 3-1 count.
That's right.
It's an automatic fastball. And that one misses inside, ball 4. So Beatty's on with Meyer's 3rd walk of the game. Mark Vientos coming up. Now, when the Marlins scored their first 2 runs, Owen Casey hit a shot on a changeup that just got by Vientos.
Well, this whole organization has done a great job of trying to get in that ready position. But see how he's in the air on that changeup that Casey hits by him. You've got to have your feet on the ground before that pitch is delivered. Now, what happens, Gary, for some infielders is that they don't factor in that they're in. So if they were back and did that same move, his feet would be on the ground by the time the ball was getting to him. But when you're in, you're closer 30 feet or so, that ball gets on you quicker.
So ideally, if you're going to use that hop, you want to hit the ground as throw goes to first and back is Beatty. You want to hit the ground on contact at the plate?
Right before contact. I want it when it starts to enter the zone in front of the hitter who's going to hit. When it's out here, I want my feet on the ground, on my toes, ready to go. Can't be in the air because you can't move once you're in the air. So when you come in, when the infield's in, you got to do that jump earlier or not jump at all. I think that when you're in that close, I would take the jump out and I'd be more like a goalie, trying to block anything that comes my way, right or left.
Or at least if you're going to jump, don't jump as high.
Right?
Yeah. Trying to get a little less air under you. Vientos gets one in the air to center field. Marcy is right there waiting for it.
And the final little thing, and this is a nuance, and this is Keith Hernandez NBA stuff. But the other nuance of that is that it was a changeup. So if you know that from the pitch com, and if you don't have the pitch com as a first baseman, your second baseman's got to tell you a changeup is more apt to be pulled by a left-handed hitter against a right-handed hitter. Where? To the pull side. So you've got to feel that the ball is going to be to your pull side. Those are things for great infielders.
Well, the more you know, the more you can factor into the way that you conduct yourself and prepare yourself for the pitch.
So true. It's a feel for what's more apt to happen, as opposed to this is going to happen because we've seen it happen.
A.J. Ewing fouls off a fastball and it's 0-2. A.J. was caught looking his first time up. Beatty at first with 2 out. And Ewing takes a slider low and in. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
I always remember the first time I met Tom Seaver, he said that Mets offenses in the early days when he pitched was a 3-2 count. And the Mets here, the guy on first and 2 outs. You've said that way too many times.
Check swing. Did he go? He went around. Strike 3. Offered at the slider, and Ewing is struck out for a second time. 5 Ks for Meyer. 3-0 Marlins.
Mission control. All systems are go.
Flight deck. Engaging dad.
Nothing outshines a blue moon.
Very much missed the home run sculpture, which used to sit out in left center field. Now is marooned out there outside the stadium. The great Red Groom's creation, which really epitomized the early days of what was then called Marlins Park.
Oh, I just love that in left center. I don't know what they have out there now.
Well, this is the time in our show when we normally go down to Steve Gelbs for the Let's Be Frank segment, but the studio stole Steve from us this weekend, so we got the best substitute we could. Connor Norby leads off for the Marlins in the home 4th inning, and he pulls one down the left field line foul. Our thanks to the Mets bullpen catcher combo of Dave Racanello and Eric Langiel for providing the blow-up hot dog that enabled us to dress Steve up in this fashion.
I mean, it's become such a big segment that those 2 young men decided to dress up that hot dog. Might be the best thing we do all year. You never know.
Well, I know this. No matter how bad the Lone Depot Park hot dog is, it's not getting a bad rating this weekend.
That's right.
Now, the saving grace, of course, is that we come back to Miami later in the year, and Steve will be on that trip, and he'll be sure to, to get his licks in, as it were. Curveball inside to Norby, and it's 2-2. Norby had a base hit to left and scored a run in the second. Peralta gave up a 2-run double to Casey in the second, a home run to Hicks in the third. And Norby just got a piece of that to stay on the at-bat. Peralta getting the extra day of rest coming into this start, but this has not been an easy one for him, even after a 1-2-3 first inning in which he threw only 6 pitches. I mean, I'm no expert, but I've really got to wonder why he's not throwing more fastballs.
Yeah, the at bat against Stowers when he struck him out, his last at bat, was more of what I thought we'd see in today's game.
And he paints the outside corner with a fastball, and he gets the strikeout of Norby. His 4th strikeout. I mean, he was throwing close to 70% fastballs for a couple of starts. It went down to in the 50% range against the Yankees because he was trying to be more careful against their big hitters. But for him to be throwing only 42% fastballs today is really shocking against this team.
He threw 67% in Colorado, of all places. So it'd be a good question to ask after the game. Maybe came out of the bullpen, didn't feel like he had a good heater. Sometimes that happens.
Owen Casey had a changeup for his 2-run double. And he takes that changeup down. 1 ball, 1 strike. I mean, I'll reiterate the numbers. The Marlins are last in the majors in OPS against fastballs. Freddie Peralta's fastball generates the 3rd lowest OPS of any fastball in baseball.
Whenever you have a strength and the offense has a weakness, usually you want to jump on that. There's the numbers right there, Gare.
And you'll say, well, why are those numbers similar? Well, the OPS against fastballs is always going to be higher for every team than it is against non-fastballs. And for them even to be close is shocking. Two and two to Casey, the Canadian. And he strikes out on the curveball, so back-to-back strikeouts for Peralta to start the fourth. It's 5 for the day for Freddie.
Puts grip first on that slider. You can see his head is cleared. And that ball is so enticing for 55 feet, and then the bottom drops out of it.
So 2 out and nobody on. Now Graham Pauley, who struck out his first time up, and he whacks one toward the gap in right center. That's down for a base hit. Ewing gets over, cuts it off nicely to hold Pauley to a single.
Well, I feel like this outfield, when I watch outfielders go after the ball, Ewing with the great speed with the cutoff here reminds me of ballparks like Kansas City and others that just play so large in the outfield. Just got it on the end of his glove, did Ewing.
So Pauley at first with 2 out. Joe Mack the batter, and he fouls off the first pitch slider. Mack at a foul pop up to Beatty his first time up. One saving grace for Peralta, if he's able to make quick work of Mack, is that at least his pitch count is not elevated. We mentioned he's been averaging 17.3 pitches per innings this year, one of the top figures in the National League. Now he's ahead on Mack 1-2. The easy first inning. Trying to put this fourth inning to bed ahead on the number 9 hitter. Mack holding that bat up high. 1-2 coming. And the change up away. 2 balls, 2 strikes. All-time Marlin leaders against the Mets. Gabby Sanchez used to kill the Mets.
He sometimes does the games over here for Spanish-speaking radio and also TV.
Giancarlo Stanton, even back when he was Mike Stanton, he hit home runs against the Mets. Well, remember when they had the outfield of Yelich and Stanton and Ozuna?
Exactly. Wow. Thought they were going to be together for 10 years.
I mean, they signed Giancarlo for 13 years, and then they traded him. What, 2 years into the deal?
We're going to have to give a call into Jeffrey Loria. I know he's a friend of the show. Ask him what happened.
It's all in the book. Jeffrey wrote the book.
It is in the book.
The book is actually very well written. 2-2 on the way, and Mack takes it outside, so Peralta unable to make quick work of Mack, and now in danger of losing it. So Vientos going to play behind the runner at first. Pauley will be on his way. Joe Mack, who's been in the big leagues less than 3 weeks, known more for his defense than his offense, looking to attack Peralta on 3-2, and he takes it low, ball 4. So the inning continues. Second walk of the day for Peralta, and that one really hurts.
It's just very interesting to watch. I really watched the hitters as Justin Willard goes out to speak to his right-hander. I watched the hitters, Gary, for how comfortable they are. Very comfortable this afternoon. A lot of big swings and a lot of changeups that are down pitches you usually see the opposing team offer at. No offer at all. Now, I'm not saying that he's that they know what his pitches are, but it's very interesting to watch how comfortable the Marlins hitters are against Freddie and his stuff this afternoon.
Is it less knowing what's coming and more if it's down, lay off?
It might be that. It just might be great at bats that they're taking. but comfortability by the offense is something that always raises my shackles a little bit, because I'm always thinking, okay, how come they're so comfortable? Is it because I'm not pitching inside and making them a little uncomfortable? Well, who knows? But they're taking some nice at-bats.
So Peralta, after striking out 2 to start the inning, gives up a hit and a walk to the 8 and 9 hitters, and now has to face Xavier Edwards with 2 out and 2 on. Edwards 0 for 2 today, and he takes a fastball knee high for a strike, 0-1. Edwards has flied out and hit a comebacker in his first 2 at bats. 0 for 6 to start this series.
Two good fastballs there by Peralta to get ahead.
Freddie's only got this start and 1 more as a 29-year-old. Turns 30 on June 4th.
Birthday that every ball player does not celebrate.
0-2 coming, and it's tapped softly toward first. Vientos will field, can't make the glove flip. Now he looks home. The throw to Terrens, and out easily at the plate is Paulie. Paulie never stopped coming around third when Vientos couldn't make the glove flip cleanly, but he was dead to rights at the plate.
Which should be for Docs.
We go to the 5th inning, 3-0 Miami. Mark Vientos trying to make the glove flip to Peralta, but he never got the glove on the ball. However, he kept his wits about him, and when Graham Paulie tried to score, he threw him out by 40 feet. Semien leads off in the 5th and takes a strike from Max Meyer.
Well, it's a good job by the Mets defense yelling to Vientos, but Paulie doesn't have enough speed to pull this off. This is for the guys who can really run to do that.
That's lined to short, right at Lopez, who picks it off to retire Semien 1 away. Now, the batting averages in baseball are the lowest they've been in, what, since at least 1968?
Yes.
Maybe even longer?
Yeah, since 68, exactly.
Even though it seems as though it's almost impossible to get an error called on a 50-50 play.
They're all hits now.
That ball that Edwards just hit, that Vientos did not close his glove on, was scored a hit.
I don't get it.
The 3-2 put out at the plate. I mean, if that's a hit, then the averages should be 350, not
right.
230.
Well, I said it last night, I think. In the history of our broadcast here, we started in 2006. There were 0 teams that hit 250 or lower. 0. None.
Melendez skies one to left center.
And now, right now, there's 25 teams that are hitting 250 or under. 0 when we started this network, 25 now.
So it's the lowest now that it's been since the year of the pitcher, 1968. Now, after 68, they lowered the mound from 15 inches to 10 inches to try and give the hitters a little more of advantage.
I think it was 237 and 68, something in that range. Oh, there it is.
There it is. So here's Luis Terrens. So my question is, if pitching is this dominant, and it is, I mean, look at all the pitchers who are having unbelievable seasons right now. Guys you've heard of and a lot of guys you haven't. Kind of like it was in 68 when it wasn't just Danny McClain and Bob Gibson, but like Bob Bolin having a fantastic year. So what do? Do you lower the mound further? Do you move the mound a couple of inches further back?
I mean, there's a lot of talk about it. I mean, whenever they are trying to do something, it is the pitchers who are going to pay. It happens all the time.
Well, as the technology has increased, there's no question the pitchers have gotten a greater benefit from the number of ways that they can improve themselves than the hitters have.
Pitching is always going to be a proactive, and the hitters is reactive, so they have the advantage right there.
Torrens hits one off the glove of the pitcher. Lopez into barehanded, his throw to first in time. Lopez hurried in, didn't give up on the play, and makes the bare hand to throw out Torrens for the 1-6-3 putout.
A real meal deserves a real dessert, like the DQ $7 meal deal. 3-piece chicken strips with ranch or new honey sriracha, full-size fries, a drink, and a sundae. It's a delicious full meal, all for just $7 at DQ.
Your 4th, 5th inning recap. In 14 innings in this series, the Mets have a run on 4 hits. Hard to win that way. Liam Hicks homered his last time up against Freddie Peralta and takes the first pitch changeup for a strike. Hicks's home run was his 10th of the year. He now has 43 runs batted in, second in the National League. Start of the day, C.J. Abrams of the Nationals had 45 RBIs to lead the league. Hicks turns that one foul. 1-2. Liam Hicks then out of Lopez and Kyle Stowers against Peralta. Worked out of a 2-out jam in the 4th. And Paulie was thrown out at the plate trying to score on what was scored an infield hit for Edwards. Hicks's home run was his first hit in the series. He takes the fastball outside, 2-2. Peralta's never had much luck against the Marlins, and even less so in this ballpark. Hicks hits this one down the right field line, heading toward the corner, and that ball is out of here. Liam Hicks homers for the 2nd time today. And it's 4-0 Miami. Number 11 for Hicks.
You know, this ballpark can be where home runs go to die, except on the pull side. If you're able to pull the ball down the lines, it will get out of here. And that was a ball off the bat that didn't look like a home run, but became the second one for Mr. Hicks.
First career multi-home run game for Liam Hicks. And it puts Peralta in a 4-0 hole. Aldo Lopez pulls one on the ground to Beatty. And Brett throws him out, one away.
Threw a fastball away and then tried to come fastball in. That ball's in the corner. It drifted a bit back off the plate, but Hicks got the head out and kept that ball fair. Good hitting by Hicks.
Well, it's the Canadians who are getting the job done for the Marlins. Owen Casey drove in both runs last night and the first 2 today, and now Hicks, Toronto native, with a couple of home runs. Now Stowers pops it up. Bench calls off Semien, and that's the 2nd out.
Canadians thrive down here in Florida.
No bad Canadians. I mean, Hicks went from Toronto to Arkansas State.
That's right.
Drafted by Texas. Traded, I think, for cash to the Tigers.
I think so.
Right? And then Rule 5 pick last year by the Marlins. And at age 26, he has come of age. Here's Jacob Marcy. He takes a slider for a strike. Hicks is liking this DH job.
Yes, he is.
Marcy carves one foul, and it's 0-2. That's now 8 home runs allowed by Peralta. Gave up one in his last start to Ben Rice. And now 2 home runs today to Hicks. And Marcy pops one up into shallow left. Soto there to grab it. That retires the side, but Liam Hicks' 2nd home run makes it. Well, that's what it's like outside today on Miami. A perfectly beautiful Saturday afternoon. So, of course, we're sitting inside with the roof closed. Ah, well. It was ever thus. 6th inning, Mets down 4-0. Carson Benj up for the 3rd time takes a strike. Carson struck out each of his first 2 at-bats against Max Meyer, who has struck out 5 over 5 innings, walked 3, and given up only 1 hit. A soft single to Mark Vientos in the 2nd. And Benj watches up and away, a change-up, 1 ball, 1 strike.
I loved our open today. You taught me about the Vizcaya Mansion with the Mediterranean architecture. I felt like I was in art history class with Vincent Scully my freshman year.
Now, just for those who are not familiar, Ronnie is not talking about the great Vin Scully. He's talking about the great Vincent Scully.
That's right.
Who was an architecture professor at Yale, and in fact was the master of Morse College.
That's right.
When my sister was there, she was in Morse, and Scully was her master. Edwards throws out Benj, 1 away, and I mean master from an academic standpoint.
Yes, like a dean.
Yeah. The home run sculpture. Now, does it still go off when a Marlin hits a home run out there?
Oh, I don't know.
With nobody watching?
I missed that sculpture. Really do. Really enjoyed it.
You know, when this ballpark first opened, it was very much decorated in the taste of Jeffrey Loria, who owned the team, who was an art dealer. And there were a lot of artistic touches. They had the lime green walls, which is a very Miami kind of color. And the home run sculpture, which is very Miami-esque. It really felt like there was a sense of place here.
The aquariums behind the plate.
Right. Well, that's what it looked like when Marlin hit a home run. I mean, there's nothing like it anywhere else. And now there's nothing like it in here either. What a shame.
Remember we did the open from there 1 year?
From outside. Bichette strikes out. 6 Ks now for Meyer. Well, you know, every ballpark has its attraction. To me, the home run sculpture was a major part of the attraction here. Now, the next road trip, we go to Seattle.
Yes.
And you know what the attraction is in Seattle, right?
Other than the roof.
Other than the roof, which is an umbrella roof.
Yeah.
It actually lets the weather in from the sides, but protects you from the rain. Soto bats. They have a concession item in Seattle which does not exist anywhere else in baseball.
What is that? I've only been to Seattle a few times, handful of times.
If you go to a certain concession stand, it's lined the other way, and Lopez knocks it down, picks it up, and throws out Soto. 2 terrific plays in back-to-back innings by Otto Lopez. First against Torrens, now against Soto. I'll give you the answer next time. Freddie Peralta back out there for the bottom of the 6th, facing Connor Norby, who's 1 for 2 today. And Norby fouls one back, 0-1. Norby, then Owen Casey and Graham Pauley in the 6th.
This is one of the more difficult plays for a shortstop because the spin on the ball is working away from you. So he just blocked it, kept it in front of him, and his arm was strong enough to get Soto. Spinning away from you, so when it hits the leather, it's going to still be spinning in there, but he stayed with it, stayed low, got up quickly, and fired a strike.
Both of the plays that Lopez has made the last 2 innings, he had a great internal clock, knowing who was running and knowing how much time he had.
Yeah, the deflection off his pitcher's glove. Meyer stayed with it. I like that as well.
Norby gets tied up and in, and he went around for strike 3. Strikeout number 6 for Peralta, 1 down in the 6th. Freddie trying at least to get through 6 innings today to allow the Mets to not overtax their bullpen in a game where they're down 4-0. Owen Casey drove in the first 2 Miami runs. So Seattle.
Oh yes,
There's one concession stand, and they only sell a certain number of this confection each game. And the number that they sell is, I believe, 314, because that was Edgar Martinez's lifetime batting average.
Wow.
The item is the toasted grasshoppers. They are
You just love
fabulous.
The crazier the food, the more you love it. What's the one in Colorado that you love? Isn't there the...
No, I don't do that.
Oh, you don't do that?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, the garlic fries in San Francisco.
Oh, those are great.
But the rule with that is you have to share them with your friends because otherwise you'll offend. Strike 3 called as Casey is out for the second time on strikes. 7 Ks for Peralta.
So tell me what these things taste like other than chicken.
No. They're more like pumpkin and sunflower seeds.
Okay.
They're toasted up. They're kind of crispy, and they throw some salt on it, a few spices. It's a very tasty snack.
Really?
Yeah. It's not a meal. It's more like a snack, something you'd have with a beer
and then
at the ball game.
Oh, so it's okay. And they sold out like by the second inning, or?
Now, see, I don't know because I've never actually gone and purchased them myself.
Okay.
We usually have a runner go and get the toasted grasshoppers and bring them to the booth, but we send them out early because we know, there's only a limited number available. Off the end of the bat, shallow right center, angling in his binge, and the side retired. But I'd say I'd bring some back for you, but I don't know how well they travel.
I'm a kick back when you
sleep you deserve. Visit Mattress Firm. We make sleep easy.
In the 5th inning, Otto Lopez contributed tonight's All-State good hands play.
Well, watch the carom here, backhanded by Meyer off his glove. But I just love how Lopez stayed with it and going away, got enough on that throw to get Luis at first base. Broken helmet.
There goes the helmet.
Yes. Bare hand pickup, running towards the dugout of the Marlins, cross his body, and a strike.
Got him a half a stride. Brett Beatty leads off in the 7th against Max Meyer, who's never gone beyond 7 innings in a big league start. This is his 36th career start. He's never thrown 100 pitches in a big league game. His last start against the Braves, he threw 97. That's a season high. His career high is 99. Mets have batted in 15 innings in this series. They have 1 run and 4 hits in those 15 innings. Brett Beatty drew a walk his last time up. One of 3 walks for Meyer tonight. Oh, is it today or tonight? I think it's still today.
Yes. It's weird when it's a 4-10 game.
Well, it depends how early in the season, too. Middle of the summer, it's all day.
That's right.
Early in the season, you get maybe a little night thrown in.
Boy, great numbers all across the board for the young Meyer.
And a foul tip held by Mack. Strikeout number 7 for Meyer. He's now retired 9 in a row.
Well, enough breaking balls, and then decided to go up out of the strike zone, and Brett couldn't catch up with it. That's exactly where you want to throw the pitch when you're trying to go up and get a swing and miss. Right there.
Now Mark Vientos, who has the only Met hit in this game. He poked one through the right side of the infield that was not particularly well struck, but found its way into the outfield. That came leading off in the 2nd inning. He was erased in a double play, and the Mets have not had another hit since. Mets get the bullpen warming up. Jonathan Pintaro, who was just called up today, is beginning to loosen up. And that one comes inside and hits Vientos. And so he'll get on base for the 2nd time in painful fashion.
Meyer tried to overthrow that pitch. Really one of the rare times he did overthrow and lost control. He's trying to come in with a 2-seamer. It got it up in the zone and it clips Vientos in the back.
4th batter that Myers hit this year. Vientos shaking out that arm as he walks down to first base. So the Mets have their first base runner since the 4th. And now A.J. Ewing. Ewing's been up twice, struck out twice, looking in the 2nd, swinging in the 4th. Vientos making Meyer wait. I think it's more gamesmanship than pain right now.
I don't know. He's calling out the trainer. I mean, he got clipped in what, the bicep?
I think
tricep?
It was triceps, yeah. So Brian Back is going to talk it over with Vientos as Daniel Moskos, the pitching coach, goes out to the mound to talk to Meyer.
Yeah, I don't know what to say to him. That's the only pitch that's really gotten away from him. He's been in total control, and Vientos trying to shake it off.
Get all the reactions to the Knicks Game 2 win over the Cavs, plus a breakdown of what to watch for in Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Finals on the latest Putback with Ian Begley. Check it out now on SNY's YouTube page. So now Ewing. He struck out twice today, 2 of the 7 for Meyer. Vientos at first and 1 out. And AJ takes the first pitch slider for a strike.
I'd like to know how many sliders that Meyer has thrown for a taken strike in this game.
I believe the number is a lot.
Thank you. I mean, if you have a hard slider that you can throw at will, first pitch of every at bat, that's like a superpower.
Between his slider and his sweeper, he's thrown that breaking ball 50% of the time today. Right about in line with what he's done this season. Breakout year for 27-year-old Max Meyer. 3rd overall pick in the draft in 2020, waylaid by injuries. But the Mets got a taste of what he could do early last season before he went down with hip surgery, and they're getting an early taste today. Anthony Bender up in the bullpen for Miami. 2-2 to Ewing with Simeon on deck. And AJ goes down on the back foot slider. 3rd time he's been struck out today. And that's 8 for Meyer, 1 shy of a season high.
Sometimes when you come to the big leagues and you're new, you see pitches that you didn't see in AA and AAA, and this is just an eat you up slider to a guy who really knows the strike zone.
So 2 out. Vientos still at first, and now Simeon. Marcus is grounded into a double play and lined to short, and he went around on that swing on a slider way out of the strike zone. That one caught the catcher Mack. He comes up hobbling. Here's the road ahead. Your radio home for the Mets is 8:80 a.m. and streaming on the free Odyssey app. 1:40 start tomorrow, final game of the road trip. Then the Mets go home for a 4:10 game on Monday, Memorial Day, against the Reds. 3 with the Reds, 3 with the Marlins, before the Mets head to Seattle and San Diego to start the month of June.
Our road ahead, we make Gelbsy look so white. I mean, look at that.
Well, also made his hair a lot darker than it truly is. I mean, that's like 10 years ago. Gelbsy hair. Simeon fouls another one off Mack, who is playing the role of pincushion in this inning.
He's like, I'm good. At least caught the equipment.
Well, the Mets are running into some good pitching, but right now their offense is stultifying. And a couple of days where they swung the bats well in Washington, but those feel like a long time ago.
That pitching staff's a bit different than the one here in Miami.
I mean, it's hard to know sometimes when a game like last night, when a Yuri Perez came in struggling as badly as he was, but you know he's got great stuff. And last night he was dominant.
That's right.
So is that a Yuri finding it? Is that the Mets just in a rut? They can't produce offense? Take your pick. Just there have been so many of those games this year. Pitchers who are struggling getting right against the Mets. 2-2. Semien fouls one off his leg.
Well, you said the number earlier. What was it? 13 times the Mets have scored 1 run or less in 51 games. This is game number 52.
Well, the overall numbers are easy, right? The Mets are second to last in the league in runs scored. They're third to last in the league in on-base percentage, and they're dead last in the National League in slugging percentage. I mean, all that adds up to an offense that is vastly underperforming. 2-2. Grounded to third. Paulie's got it. Gets the force. Side retired. Max Myers worked 7 scoreless innings and allowed just 1 hit. It's 4-0 Miami.
Tomorrow, watch the future.
Please volunteer, donate, or come to be a part of one of our Swim Across America charity swims. I promise you will be inspired.
Freddie Peralta has not gone beyond 6 innings this year. He'll try and do that today as he faces the number 9 hitter Joe Mack leading off in the 7th. Peralta had 90 pitches through 6. He's thrown as many as 101 in his start this year, but has not gotten an out in the 7th inning. Mack has fouled out and walked, and he rips that one to right center field. That's down for a base hit. Ewing over to cut it off, and Joe Mack's got his 2nd hit in this series. Comes leading off in the home 7th.
Fastball middle handled by Mack. He's got that interesting bat position, but that time he got that ball out in front.
Now Xavier Edwards. Edwards had what was credited as an infield hit in the 4th inning. That was the ground ball that Vientos tried to glove flip. Didn't glove cleanly, but then picked up and was able to throw out Graham Pauley at the plate trying to score from second. So Edwards 1 for 7 in this series and takes a slider on the outside edge for a strike. 0-2. Liam Hicks, who's already homered twice in this game, is on deck. Mets have had Jonathan Pintaro up in the bullpen. Pintaro, who made his debut with the Mets last year, pitched in 1 game after an odyssey to get to the big leagues. And now he's back for more after a really good start in AAA this year. It's been a goal of Peralta's to get deeper into games. This obviously hasn't been a great day for him on the mound. But with an extra day of rest, being asked to go a little further than he has been. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Edwards.
You know, it hasn't been a great day, Gary, but 7 innings, 4 runs is not a bad day if he can get through 7. It's a competitive day, giving your team a chance. They just haven't done much. Gave up the rare hit with runners in scoring position today.
Came to Casey in the 2nd inning after they were 3 for 43 against him. Actually, Edwards' hit was technically a runner in scoring position hit as well.
That's right.
Although that one may get overturned. I have a feeling that's going to end up being an error. 2-2 coming to Edwards, and he got him. Good slider by Peralta to strike out Edwards. That's his 8th strikeout of the day, matching his season high. Hey kids, you can join us in the booth to call half an inning of a Mets game on SNY. Parents, tomorrow is the last day to enter. Scan the code and submit your child's video for a chance to win the 2026 SNY Kidcaster contest presented by HSS. So here's Liam Hicks. 2 home runs his last 2 at bats. The last 3 home run game by a Marlin was Kyle Stowers last year. I remember a Marlin having a 3 home run game against the Mets. It was in the old ballpark. Cody Ross hit 3 home runs in a game. It was a very lopsided game by the time he hit the 3rd one, and I'm pretty sure the 3rd one was a foul ball. But they didn't have replay at the time, and Cody got credit.
Well, here's something that's very unusual in today's game. A batter who has 2 home runs off a pitcher, the same pitcher, being allowed to face that pitcher for the 4th time. That's something that doesn't happen in the game today.
Here's your high-speed hitting brought to you by Spectrum. Well, last year was a, kind of a nice Rule 5 year for Liam Hicks. He got to play more than most Rule 5 picks do, and it's paid off this year. Blocked by Torrens. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
The DH in both leagues. I remember there was a time when I was pitching in the American League, when you were involved in a game like this, your only quest was to pitch an 8-inning complete game so that you didn't go to the bullpen.
Well, this will be a season high in pitches now for Peralta with number 102. And the breaking ball popped up into shallow left. Backing up is Beatty. And he makes the catch going away for the 2nd out. So now Peralta with a chance to get through 7 if he can get through Otto Lopez. Most pitches that Freddie's thrown in any start in his career is 113.
Will his next start, will he have an extra day maybe because of Thursday's an off day, right?
I would assume, yeah, his next start would be Friday against the same team. Lopez has a double in 3 trips today. Mack at first with 2 out. Last time Peralta recorded an out in the 7th inning was July of last year for the Brewers against Washington. Didn't get the call on that, but challenge.
I think that was challenged by the pitcher.
I believe it was.
Freddie Peralta.
And he does not get the call, and the Mets lose the challenge. So it's 2-0 to Lopez.
Do you feel compelled to say you're sorry to the umpire if you challenge and he wins?
Well, does the umpire say he's sorry if he's overturned?
Never.
So there you go. Even Steven. That's a strike, and it's 2-1.
Well, Derek Thomas has done a nice job behind the plate. Not many challenges. I thought the one glaring mistake he might have made is the bench first at bat.
And that one misses down. 97 from Peralta, so he's emptying the tank here. But now behind on Lopez, 3-1. And with pitch number 107. Lopez shoots it foul, and it's 3-2. Well, if he doesn't get Lopez, I have a feeling we'll see Pintaro come in to face Stowers.
Pintaro
asking to go someplace he hasn't been in quite some time.
That's right. Pintaro's got that good split finger, something that could counter against Stowers. I don't know. I like watching a pitcher try to not have all of it left and just trying to pull his neck and go after him.
Mack gets set to take off. 3-2 coming. He struck him out on a foul tip. So Peralta with a season-high 9th strikeout, and he gets through 7 innings for the first time as a Met. After 7, 4-0 Marlins.
At home, welcome to Honda Sports Night. All night, every night, starting at 11, only on SNY.
Hey there, Steve Gelbs alongside Jose Reyes coming up on Mercedes-Benz Postgame Live. The Mets offense just brutal afternoon yet again.
Yeah, in the post game, we look at why the Mets offense was struggling today.
All right, guys, back to you. That's coming up after the game.
Gelbs, Reyes, what's going on here? MJ Melendez leads off in the 8th against Anthony Bender. It's good to see Jose in the studio.
Nice.
We didn't get to see how he was dressed, but I'm sure it was spiffy.
Well, it's definitely going to be different than Gelbsy.
You think?
Oh, yes.
Melendez been up twice, flied out both times. Max Meyer out after 7 brilliant innings. No runs, 1 hit, 3 walks, 8 strikeouts, a hit batsman. And now Bender making his 21st appearance of the year against 8, 9, and 1 in the order in the 8th. And Melendez takes inside strike. And glares back at Derek Thomas, but does not challenge the call. 1 and 2.
Yeah, he's got kind of the sinking action, 2-seam action by Bender, but you're going to see plenty of sweepers and sliders, just like Bender. Oh, sorry, just like Meyer.
Well, I mean, it's only natural. His name is Bender.
Exactly.
He has to throw breaking balls.
He better have a good one.
What is that called? Nominative determinism?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If your name is Bender, you're either out late or you're throwing breaking balls.
That would mean that I'd have to be an overly good guy.
Well, I'm not going to say different. He strikes out Melendez with a sinker, and that's the first out. Somebody got a souvenir.
Kids love the T-shirts that are thrown into the crowd or the towels.
Hey, we only have 1 hit over 7 1/3. I don't care. I got a shirt.
That's right.
That's great.
I saw his shirt. It said Lightning McLean.
Luis Torrens 0 for 1 today. He walked, and then he banked one off the pitcher's glove and was thrown out by Otto Lopez. And Luis wearing a new batting helmet because he broke the one that he slammed down after he got thrown out in the 5th. And he's late on that fastball from Bender, and it's 0-2. And that breaking ball fouled off. Carson Bench, the on-deck batter. The Mets briefly leapfrogged the Marlins in the standings with their win Thursday over Washington. But the Marlins moved back ahead of the Mets with their win last night. And Torrens strikes out for the 2nd out. And the Marlins trying to bury the Mets deeper in the cellar today. New York Mets baseball on SNY is brought to you by Nissan. Every Nissan is designed for people who refuse to settle for less. Visit NissanUSA.com or your local dealer. By Windorama, your home, your team. Upgrade your home today. And by Ford, the amazing official truck of the Mets. Test drive their amazing lineup at your local Ford stores. Carson Bench is 0 for 3 today. Struck out twice and grounded out against Max Meyer. Mets have had de minimis of offense today. 1 hit, 3 walks, a hit by pitch. Marlins already have a 1-hitter this year. And that one was started by Max Meyer. He and 2 relievers shut out the Phillies on May the 2nd. In that game, Meyer allowed only 1 hit over 7 innings. Same as today. 0-2 to Carson Bench. And it's on the inside corner. Bench is going to challenge that call. One he should have challenged in the first inning.
Yeah.
But maybe he'll get this one.
He was right not to do it in the first. It looked low.
Well, that's
no.
a strike. So there you go. Anthony Bender strikes out the side in the 8th inning.
Get better every single day.
Nick Fan at the ready.
Game 3 in Cleveland tonight.
I hear they're going to be more New Yorkers than Ohioans.
I'm supposed to see friends tonight for dinner. I gave it to them because they live here. What should we do? We're going someplace to watch the Knick game.
Jonathan Pintaro's second big league appearance, first this season, as he pitches the bottom of the 8th. And Kyle Stowers takes his first pitch inside for ball 1.
I mean, his first game last year, June 25th. He was very nervous. A couple of hits given up, a couple of walks. He was all over the place. But boy, he settled down and had a great start in AAA.
It was against the Braves last year in June, the only game he pitched for the Mets, one of the 46 pitchers who worked for the Mets last season. He's a great success story, a guy who came out of Shorter University, a Division II school, and did not get drafted. So he went to play for the Glacier Range Riders in the Pioneer League in Kalispell, Montana.
Whoa.
About as far from organized baseball as you can be. And the first year he pitched for the Glacier Range Riders, he had a 6.95 ERA. So it wasn't like he was going to get signed. But he went back there for a second year to Montana, pitched better. The Mets saw him, and in 2024 they signed him and began his trek through the Mets farm system.
It is a beautiful part of the world, though, right on Flathead Lake.
As long as it's summertime. Yeah. Don't want to be there in the winter. Stowers rolls over one. That's that split change from Pintaro. Leans on that pitch and his cutter quite a bit. Two coming to Stowers, and he pops one up foul. That'll come back out of play. Freddie Peralta went 7, allowed 4 runs, 8 hits, 2 walks, 9 strikeouts, 2 home runs. First time since April of last year that he went a full 7 innings. And Stowers flies one out to center, and Ewing with plenty of room. 1 out.
Good start from Taro. Our director Eddie Warman got a good shot. His laces, one of the laces anyways, is extremely long. Or 2 of the laces on that glove of his. Usually don't see that. Whips around while you're pitching.
Do the umpires ever instruct pitchers to cut their laces?
I've seen it before. I've seen it happen before.
Here's Jacob Marcy, who's 0 for 2 and a walk. And that cutter misses upstairs for ball 1. Check swing, foul. 1-1. Calvin Fauché is up in the Marlins bullpen. Looks like he'll get a chance to finish this game. Mets will have their 2, 3, and 4 hitters, Bichette, Soto, and Beatty, due up in the 9th inning. In 17 innings in this series, the Mets have managed 1 run and 4 hits. Marcy, who took away a couple of extra base hits from Carson Bench yesterday, fouls it off, and it's 1-2.
But today it's been a different story. Not a lot of balls hit hard by the Mets offense.
But the Marlins played good defense throughout this series. Now, this is not what they normally do. In fact, according to defensive runs saved, they are last in the majors in defense. But they certainly have not made any mistakes in this series. That's lined right to Beatty. Not a lot of sizzle on that, and that's the 2nd out.
I think they've had most of their problems in the infield, though. Their outfield is pretty strong.
So 2 out and nobody on. Now Connor Norby, as Pintaro looks for his first ever clean big league inning.
Just picking up some debris that's been dropped by the fans in right center. Pizza box.
The official in charge of debris picking up.
Pizza box.
Gets the job done. Honda Sports Night comes your way tonight at 11. Knicks and Cavs tonight. Mets and Marlins. Christian Scott pitching close to home for the Mets tomorrow in the final game of this road trip. Road trip that's seen the Mets go 2-3 so far. And Norby pops one up on the infield. Bichette comes in. And he's got it, side retired. So Jonathan Pintaro turns in a 1-2-3 inning in his season debut.
Summer's here. You can celebrate anything. Like
we are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Ninth inning, Mets down 4-0. Anthony Bender has struck out the side in the eighth. Stays in to start the ninth, facing Bo Bichette. And Bo takes first pitch sweeper for a strike, 0-1. Here's where the Mets stand offensively in this series. In 17 innings so far in this series, it's flared out behind first base, and Norby into foul ground. He drops the ball. Looked like an easy out, but Norby nonchalanted that a little bit, and that'll be an error, prolonging the turn at bat.
Yeah, he tried to style it.
So it's an error on Norby. First in this series for Miami. They're 36th of the year. Only the Nats have committed more in the National League. 0-2 the count to Bichette with Soto on deck. So in this series so far in 17 innings, the Mets have not had a single plate appearance with a runner in scoring position. They got their only run last night on a Juan Soto home run. Otherwise didn't get a runner past first. And they haven't had a runner past first base today. 0-2 to Bichette. And takes the slider down. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Mets came from 4 runs down to beat the Yankees just 6 days ago. One-two coming. Up and in with the fastball, and it's 2-2 to Bichette. Max Meyer was brilliant for 7. No runs, 1 hit. Bender struck out the side in the 8th. Calvin Fauché still ready in the bullpen. So is Anthony Nardi, the lefty, with Soto on deck. And Bichette hits a ground ball to shortstop. And Lopez throws him out, 1 away. The only hit the Mets hit today was hit 64 miles an hour by Mark Vientos through the right side of the infield. One that made him smile. That was back in the 2nd inning. Clayton McCullough on his way out to the mound. He's got the lefty in the bullpen. And looks like even with a 4-0 lead and only 2 outs to get, he's going to make the pitching change and bring in Nardi to face Soto. Call to the bullpen brought to you by Nissan. Shop NissanUSA.com.
He's health.
New York Mets baseball on SNY is brought to you by your Tri-State Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyOffers.com. By Suffolk Credit Union. Be a HELOC hero at Suffolk Credit Union. By Sterling Optical. Making the right call with Sterling Optical. See clearly and look great doing it. And by Infinity. Experience their luxury SUVs at your local Infinity retailer today. Andrew Nardi pitched an effective inning last night. Back for more.
Yeah, he came in to face Soto in the 7th inning yesterday and got him on a ground ball to short.
Then he struck out his next 2 hitters. Faces Soto here with 1 out and nobody on in the 9th, with the Mets down 4-0. Juan is 0 for 2 and a walk today. Lopez made a nice play, then knocked down his ground ball and threw him out his last time up in the 6th. Ball and a strike to Soto. Tyrone Taylor has come out on deck to bat for Brett Beatty with the left-hander in the game.
Nardi yesterday a steady diet of breaking balls against Soto. Here with the 4-run lead. 2 straight fastballs to start this at bat.
Soto jumps away from changeup that ran in. 2 balls and a strike. Soto's been like Dave Kingman these last couple of weeks. The one guy in the lineup, you make sure that you're not getting a beer when he bats, because he might hit a ball out of the ballpark. 6 home runs in his last 10 games. And now Mack beats the pitch clock by heading out to the mound. Michael Peterson is up now in the Miami bullpen, just in case they need a right-handed arm sometime in this inning.
I feel like he's going to take one shot here, 2-2, to try to paint him away with a fastball. Can always come back with a 3-2 hook. Just because it's a 4-0 lead. He's got 4 runs to work with, so.
Two coming to Soto, and Juan watches the sweeper outside. It's 3-2. Well, the last thing you want to do if you're Nardi is to walk him. You'd almost rather give up a solo home run than get the Mets started with a walk. Taylor on deck to pinch hit. 3-2 with 1 out. And Soto bangs one toward the middle of the diamond, but there's Lopez again. 2 out.
That ball either caught Nardi or hit the rubber, because it really got slowed down. Juan hit that on the nose, but it was slowed down by either the mound. Let's check it out here, because he hit it right on the nose. Oh, it's off the back foot of Nardi. See him hop up there. That's why it slowed it down enough for Lopez to make the play. See Soto's reaction, like, get out of the way.
So now Taylor, who pinch hit last night for Beatty and struck out. That's 1 out away from being shut out for the 6th time this year, but the first time in the month of May. Last time they were shut out was April 26th by Colorado. Taylor lines one down the left field line, and the Mets have their 2nd hit of the game. It goes to the wall, and Tyrone with a pinch hit double.
Tyrone's money in the 9th.
Especially with 2 out.
Gets a fastball up in the zone and just jumps all over it. One of the rare balls today by Mets hitters that's been hit right on the nose. And a runner now in scoring position.
First time in this series they've had a runner as far as second base with an at-bat pending. Mark Vientos has been on base twice in this game. He had the only other Met hit, that single to right that snuck through in the 2nd. Then he was hit by a pitch on the triceps in the 7th. Vientos trying to keep this game alive for A.J. Ewing, who's on deck. And Mark lines a base hit into left field. That'll get Taylor home to break up the shutout. Mark Vientos with his 2nd hit of the day drives in a run to make it 4-1. And now the Mets need just one more base runner to get the tying run to bat.
Nardi is a left-handed specialist, brought in to get the right-handers, so while he ended up trying to get the right-handers out, has not. 2 consecutive batters.
Ewing will stay in against the left-hander. AJ struck out all 3 times against Max Meyer today. If he can get aboard, Semien would come up as the tying run. And AJ takes a fastball strike. One from Nardi, and AJ hits it on the ground to third. Paulie's got it, and that ends it. as the Marlins have taken the first 2 games of this series. Mets have now dropped 4 of their last 5 as they managed just 2 runs and 5 hits total in the first 2 games of this series. Freddie Peralta goes 7 for the first time as a Met, but Max Meyer was better. And the Marlins win this one 4-1.
Perez last night bettered by Max Meyer this afternoon. Liam Hicks with 2 big solo home runs to add on to that initial Casey 2 RBI lead that the Marlins had. Mets have to go back to the drawing board for their offense.
Well, Max Meyer now 5-0 to start the season through his first 11 starts, as the Mets for the 14th time this year are held to no runs or 1 run, as the Marlins have taken the first 2 of this series to move a game and a half ahead of the Mets in the standings. 4-1 the final, Miami. More coming up in just a moment. Final score this afternoon, the Marlins 4, the Mets 1. Final game of the series tomorrow afternoon with Florida native Christian Scott on the mound for the Mets. First pitch at 1:40. Our coverage begins tomorrow at 1 o'clock right here on SNY. Now for Ron Darling and our entire SNY crew, I'm Gary Cohen in Miami. After this break, it's Mercedes-Benz Post Game Live with Steve Gelbs and Jose Reyes.